Hello, everyone. I hope we're all doing okay today. How's everybody doing? Um,
Very good, James. Thank you.
thank you, Nigel. Okay, we've got Tim now. I think that's everybody.
I think we're just waiting for Charlotte from
Okay,
Linton
cool.
as well. I think she's
That's
trying to
fine.
join, so
We
I
can
know she was
wait a
tied
sec.
up
See what I
before,
say.
James. So, but you are recording this, aren't you? Anyway, so
Yes. Yeah.
okay.
I've got Charlotte now.
Here she is.
Excellent. Oh, hang on a minute. Share my screen. There we go. Can we all see my screen? I should take that as a yes. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this webinar on AI and modern ERP. My name's James. I'm the account manager at Meditech, but I think I probably know you all anyway, so that shouldn't be any surprise to you. Today, we're going to talk about AI in ERP and in Priority as a itself. So some of it will cover the history. We'll talk about how AI is working in business, in practice, and then we're going to talk about the priority 5 tenets of AI. Then we'll look a little bit about actually what it looks like in priority at the moment. And then I'm going to talk a bit about the future in terms of priority, but we'll be talking about the future of AI as we go through anyway. So if I go to my first slide. Right, okay. We have a brief history of AI. Apparently, the term artificial intelligence was coined at the Dartmouth Summer Research Project in 1956. That is, I think hotly debated, but that's what most people believe. And then it took a while, but then in 1997 we got Deep Blue, which I think some people may remember if they're my sort of age. I certainly remember it defeated Gary Kasparov, and that was very big news of a computer or a supercomputer in this case beating a world chess champion. And then 2011 we get to IBM Watson, which was an artificial intelligence platform developed by IBM. And basically that's where some of the natural language questioning and answering came from, and some more of the data analysis capabilities. And that one won Jeopardy! And then in 2016, AlphaGo mastered the game of Go. I had to look that one up. It is an ancient Chinese strategy-based board game, which personally I had never heard of. So as you can see, this is kind of like how it's developed is actually by solving puzzles and making itself more intelligent to solve greater and greater puzzles that human brains were required of before. And then we move to things like generative AI, which reaches human-like language capabilities. So AI GPT-3 was the famous one for writing like a human, and we went to 4 after that. And then from 2024 plus, we've had AI agents automate multi-step tasks. So you can see how the timeline has progressed and how we are, moving rapidly forwards. We spent a long time from 1956 to 1997, but not much time from 2020 to 2024 plus. So that's where we are going. So there's a little about the history, and then we're going to talk about what this could mean to your business. And go through a few of those sorts of things. So we're going to look at what a legacy business is. So what people are doing now or what people have been doing, and how that can be changed by using an AI powered business and what the results of that are. So in terms of decision making, it's generally been retrospectively looking at it, and it's your own intuition of what you think will happen. And that's a lot about what AI is helping you with. It's like we've all been able to run our businesses before, but now with AI, we can have those skills inbuilt. We can do it using data in real time and create predictions based on that rather than not quite finger in the air, but definitely things that we've learned in the past that we are then putting forward. But AI is backing that up with real-time data. Then we're talking about operational workflow. So that's been manual so far. I mean, in Priority, you are pushing things around the system automatically with your BPMs and with moving items from one status to the next, and then from purchase order to creating a works order, etc., etc. So there is that flow there in Priority. But what AI-powered business would do would automate that flow. So you start off with one document, and then instead of it going to multiple people to be processed, agentic AI will process those things for you. In terms of productivity, obviously that's limited by the number of people you've got on the seat in your seats. Whereas if you've got AI agents moving things forward, then that you don't have that limitation of 9 to 5 or whatever to push your items through your business, through your ERP system. Planning is also one of those amazing things where AI could be really useful, particularly in things like capacity planning, where at the moment you're doing a lot of, you are getting data out, but actually you could, in an AI model, take what you've done before and said, how would I produce this? What's the most efficient way of producing this in the future? So we then go to handling the unexpected, which is reactive at the moment, but how do we make that proactive? So how do we get the system to actually start to tell us, oh, this might be late, what can you do about it? Oh, by the way, we can shuffle these things around. Do you want to go ahead with that? Yes or no? It's as simple as that. It's not having to make that decision. It's like, okay, these are the things. Do you just want to press the button and that'll work? This doesn't get rid of the role of the employee, but what they are then doing is making decisions on information that they are sent, rather than having oversight, rather than just pressing buttons and moving things forward. As the same with errors, obviously we're prone to human errors. Let's reduce those human errors. The customer experience, so the employees, at the moment it's reactive, it's assisted, we are pushing things round, and it becomes personalized and self-service because you don't need to know necessarily how those screens work, because you can have information pushed at you when you ask questions. Then you can definitely self-service. You don't have to remember how to do something necessarily. Innovation, stifled by cost and time. So let's put what we're trying to innovate, let's see what that looks like in an AI engine, and let's see whether that's actually easy to change. So let's talk about a scenario, put that through an AI engine, see what the results of that scenario could be, so we can decide whether we want to go ahead with that cost and time, and actually shorten that time because we've actually made those predictions and we've got some suggestions about how we move forwards. So as you can see, at the end, our competitiveness is particularly increasing in our AI-powered business, which means, unfortunately, in the legacy business, then that's declining. So just a few examples of how that can work in practice, because we were talking a lot about theory. So let's put some people in there and see how that works out with those people. So if we look at a sales manager, they rely on manual follow-ups and spreadsheets, and it's very much based on process flow, etc., etc. With AI, it can predict customer issues and suggest next steps. So it looks at what did we do successfully before, what can we do successfully in the future. I was talking this through with somebody yesterday, and we were talking about what could be a blocker to a sale. And somebody said, well, why don't we put it through Claude and see what that comes out with, see whether there is a successful outcome for this. So this is stuff we're already doing. What we're talking about today is how we get that into the ERP system as well. So that's what we're going to come on to after this. In terms of operation manager, discovers delivery risk after the customer calls. So AI might flag it up to say, actually, you realize this is going to be late. We have functionality within Priority, obviously, to do that at the moment. But getting that engine in the background, it's always monitoring, it's always looking for these things. You're not programming to look for these things. It will just bring those things to you. And then if we can look at the role of a finance director, obviously we know people in finance love to export data to spreadsheets and look them through, which is great, and they are very skilled at that. But actually, you could just ask the software in plain language and get those live insights back at you. And that's already within Priority, within the cloud system. So we have 5 tenets of Priority, and I'm not going to go through all these because we don't have time. I was only speaking for a short while, but we can certainly send these to you. But I am going to sort of highlight some of the things that are contained in this, so you can understand a bit more about where things may move to. So part of it is about being able to connect much better with other pieces of software. So it's called API First Economy, and you can create deep bi-directional integrations that treat external partners, for example, Shopify or your banks, as native parts of the system. So you're really integrating them much better because you can do that intelligent data exchange. It can map and it can clean data from third parties because it can understand what information is coming to it and push that into the software much better. Part of the problem with API functionality so far is obviously it's field to field. There is no intelligence within there to say, well, this field doesn't look right, this item doesn't look right. What should we do with it? We create exceptions so you can do that yourself. But what AI could do was actually interpret that for you and bring that information in without you having to go through those exceptions. Then we're talking about generative UI. So UI is a big thing in software in terms of AI. And it's about not having those static screens for every scenario. You just end up with one agentic AI screen, and you ask it questions and it gives you information and you tell it to do things based on that information. So you are not looking at traditional screens anymore, and that's part of the way that things are moving forward. You're getting the system to find that information from those screens, and then it's giving you that information in a summary. So that's quite an interesting concept of how software is looking at moving forwards. And then one of the other things which we are starting to see is the natural language interaction and the natural language programming. So you don't have to ask this specific question. So at the moment, with your ERP system, you need to know the specific information, you need to know where that specific information is. So you need to be asking the absolute right questions. And with AI, you can have that conversational information, so you can just ask it a question in your own language. It will then interpret that and say, this is the information that I've found out. So those are, I'm not going to go through them all because, like I said, I don't really have time. I'm already over the time that I was allotted. So that's kind of the 5 tenets, and we're happy to share this with you if you want to see it, and you can have a look through them. But actually getting into what is in priority at the moment, so in version 26, we have some enhanced AI features. Something like the AI companion, it turns every action into a simple conversation. And this is what I was talking about with the natural language programming and the not relying on a user interface, which is the future. This is part of moving to that future, what the future could look like. So actually what you're doing in this is you're reducing your necessarily skill level, because you're asking that information rather than going to a certain screen to find it out, adding those numbers together, knowing where that is, knowing what the hotkeys are, etc., etc. You can just type that in. So you can just say, send a payment reminder email, and it will do that for you. Or show me the Brew & Co receipts in this example. It shows you those receipts, and then it suggests what you can do with those receipts afterwards. So it's pushing you forwards as well as giving you the information that you've asked for. Then we have the AI agent, and in this case, we have at the moment we have a purchase order agent, a customer analytics agent, and a journal entry recording agent. And obviously, Priority will be building on these with their agentic layer that they have created. So this is the first steps. So we can actually go to our companion and say, tell me about this customer, and it will give us a summary. So as you can see, it's actually giving you that summary in natural language. It says this is a brand new customer. It's not, you're not created February 11th, 2026. You're not looking at that customer and going, when were they created? It's pushing that information to you. It tells you what the orders they placed. It tells you what the status of them is, and then it gives you another review of what's your commercial activity, what's happening with that customer. So it's pushing that information at you. And then we have analytic analysis. This started in a previous version, but it's actually been extended to so that you can have analysis, AI analysis on all your charts, your analytics reports, your standard priority reports, and any priority reports that you've created in the old report generator that have now moved to analytics. You can get an executive, a statistical, or a comparative view of that data and that information, and the AI engine will do that for you. I think one of the areas that was really crying out for AI was bank reconciliation. You're dealing with lots of detailed information. You're dealing with, payments that have been made for multiple invoices. You're really trying to match that up. And what the AI functionality will do will say, let's have a look at all these matches. It will give you a prediction of how high they think that match is. So if it's very high, then they're 99% sure that that's how that match. And this allows you to have less manual review of things, and faster processing times. So it's giving you a much more accurate and efficient workflow. And that's one of those really huge advantages that you can just see that AI will give you to save you time. And the future. So Priority are always moving forwards. They've acquired a company called Obol, and I'm sure they will be doing more acquisitions as well as more development internally. There's been a huge, as you can see, there's been a huge amount of internal development within Priority to create these AI features. So the latest acquisition is a company called Obol, which is doing uh, I've forgotten the word of cash flow analysis and cash flow predictions. So you can really get those um, in your system, in your head, in your system, and actually say what's going to happen in the business in the future. Okay, so thank you for that. I did have some time for a Q&A if anybody's got any questions about where AI is going or what's happening in AI